welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. Well, here we are, 6 weeks. I just had my first workout of the 6th week yesterday, which was back in chest. We did that at the shop gym in Manassas, Jorge and I. And I'm back up to 208 pounds, as you just saw. Now, I have not eaten my first meal yet. I've not gone to the bathroom yet. That's 208. So after you eat your first meal, you go to the bathroom. It probably evens out. I'm probably still sitting at about 208. So 208 for me in the morning, that's fine. If you guys remember, I was 189 pounds about 6 weeks ago. That was what I got down to now. This is muscle memory, obviously, when I put this muscle back on. But I wanted to go through with you guys on how to make the most of muscle memory or regaining that muscle again. And try to keep you guys from making some wrong moves. You know what I mean? If we can keep you guys kind of making the right choices going into it, you're going to get faster results. And that's what it's about, right? I've done this so many times. I put on 20 pounds and I mean, I remember there was that one year I put on 30 pounds in a month or something like that. And I consistently have done it throughout my YouTube career. I've dropped weight, gained weight, gotten lean for shows, bulked up. I've done it all so that you guys can see it in real time. But this one was a little bit different. This one was a transformation, and I wish I should have done before and after pictures. I just didn't know what to expect with, like, as far as how dramatic the transformation would be. I didn't realize that I would lose 20 pounds of muscle, I'd be able to gain it back. We didn't really know, which I should have been documenting this thing the whole time, which I didn't, and that's my fault. But anyways, so once we got out of the gym and the gym went on lockdown, I knew that we were going to be using these rubber bands. Now, these are not rubber bands like these heavy duty ones that you see Phil Hearn and these guys using. These like those thick ass bands that are like this big and they give you like 500 pounds of pressure. Not those things. Immediately when we went on lockdown, I started trying to buy a few things. That was a nightmare because things were getting price gouged like crazy. I tried to buy a Bosu ball, which I've never used a Bosu ball really. And I was like, let me buy one because I can help with stability and stuff like that. Maybe since we don't have leg, equipment, we can start doing some stuff with the Bosu ball, some stability training, pistol squats on it, something like that. So I ordered it for $40 and it got canceled. And I was like, what do you mean it got canceled? I went back and it was $150. They basically canceled my order because they were going to charge more for it. And I was like, so I wasn't buying all these bands. And then all of a sudden when you went to try to buy bands, they were sold out. So it was basically, I was like, all right, this is what we got. We had a 20, 15, and 10 pound dumbbells and 5 pound dumbbells. We had some ankle weights. We had some rubber band resistance. And we had body weight. Okay, that being said, I knew I was going to lose muscle. Now, people are like, well, Jerry, what about body weight? What about the people that go in prison only use body weight? Here's the deal. You're talking about people when they go to prison that start out maybe thin and they build themselves up because they weren't doing anything before. That's one thing. When you have somebody that's been training with weights, specifically weights heavier than the average person for 30 years, and you take that stimulus out and you go to a rubber band or even a body weight, even your body weight can't give you enough resistance to maintain your muscle mass from when you were lifting weights. If I hadn't never lifted in my whole life, then start doing body weight resistance, yeah, you're going to see a difference. But if you go from training with weights to body weight, you're automatically reducing that intensity and that stimulus, but at the same time, you're losing muscle. So as you're losing muscle, your body weight's going down too. So that stimulus is getting less and less over time. So your body's going to adapt no matter what you do to it backwards. There's nothing you can do about it, right? And I knew that. I said, look, here's what I could do. Either I could be like some other people out there that are going to be like, see, I never lose a pound. The whole time I didn't lose any of my gains. And what they're doing is their muscle mass is coming down and their body fat's going up. And what's happening is they're staying about the same weight, but their body composition is getting all fucked up. Now, when they're done with the quarantine, they have to go back in the gym. They have to gain the muscle back and then lose the fat. It's twice as much work. So I took a play out of Victor Martinez's playbook when he had been incarcerated before for his visa expiring, which he didn't know it was expired. He came back from another country. They locked him up for 6 months. When he came out of prison, he was very thin for him. And I remember people going, oh my God, well, he didn't lift when he was in there. And he said flat out, he goes, look, the food wasn't good in there. I couldn't get enough protein to build muscle, right? There was no weights to work out with. So it was just body weight. He goes, so I decided drop the muscle mass, try to eat as clean as I could and stay lean. So when I get back, I could just grow the muscle back and it's half the work. It's actually more fun growing muscle back than it is losing fat. Let's be real, right? So I said, that's the route I'm going to go. So as I was doing my cardio, as I was doing my weight workouts at home, I noticed I was getting weaker. I didn't want to work out. I didn't feel good. I was just doing it just to get through it. Half-assing it because you weren't feeling anything. Like you weren't feeling a pump. You weren't feeling good about it. I'm just like, look, let me just get 40 minutes of workout in. Fuck it. I did 2 walks a day. I did everything that I had to, and then I controlled my diet, which was key. A lot of people in quarantine just fucked around in their diet. They ate all kinds of shit. They were day drinking. They're like, oh, I put on 20 pounds. And of course, I controlled my diet. So what I did was I kept my carb cycling up, and I noticed when my body really didn't need those calories, it just didn't need the macros anymore. I was getting fatter. I dropped into keto, which I know for me controls my body weight really well. So I dropped into keto, and as I was training with weights, now you're not going to be able to build or maintain that muscle. So you're going to have to reduce your protein too. So I reduced pretty much all my macros to where they needed to be, to where I said, I'm going to get down to about 185. I had a number in my head because I figured over time this is what's going to happen. I kind of calculated and I figured 185. I got down to 189, and I could easily have dropped down to 185, but I didn't feel like the need to drop down anymore because I had gyms that were starting to open up around me. I was like, okay, this is where we're at. This is our starting point. 189 with a little bit slightly higher body fat than when we started. Muscle mass has dropped significantly. This is our starting point, but we did it. We got out of it. We're gonna move forward now, right? That's pretty much where my head was. So I went in the gym on the first day, and as soon as I started lifting and I started training with the resistance against the full range of motion and not just most amount of resistance when it's fully stretched in the band and less, it was completely different. Like my muscles started, I want to say waking up. It sounds stupid, but it was almost like they took a nap for like 3 months. And as I was contracting against these resistance, I was like, holy shit, you could feel your body starting to work again. It was actually starting to produce that energy like in the gym. Like you started to feel better and the muscle started to pump up. And the first time in 3 months I felt the pump. And I said, holy shit, here we are. Okay, cool. So it worked. I did what I set out to do. It wasn't the same that everybody else was doing because everybody had in their head that I can use rubber bands and maintain. Everybody had it in their head like I'll take some months off, I'll be fine. Like people had it in their head the most outrageous things, and then I saw the pictures of them out of shape within 2 months. And then we had another month to go, So like I had a plan, I executed it. I did not fuck up my food one bit. I didn't cheat on my diet. I basically did the contest diet while I was in quarantine. But you remember, stressful times for me, I jump into contest preps, right? My father passes, contest prep. Something happens, contest prep. So for me, the stress of the quarantine itself, contest prep helped keep me focused. I made sure I did my 2 walks a day, right? I made sure that I stuck to my macros. I did the best workouts that I could. But everything every day had to be nailed exactly like that. And that's what kept me kind of sane because I was executing a plan. I wasn't just haphazardly throwing everything together and just randomly doing shit just to be doing it because someone said it may or may not work. Everything was planned. Everything was executed to a T for me. And then it was time to get back in the gym. Now, Jerry, how did you put that muscle mass back on so quick? Now, yes, muscle memory, but shit, that's 20 pounds of solid body weight. So I'm even leaner now than I was when I started going back to the gym. So for me, of course, food is the most important thing. I raised my macros again, right? So now that I'm back in the gym, like you can feel the difference. Like you start training with weights, your body starts asking for that food. Like the hunger signal is completely different than when you're not training with weights. Like like your body is searching for food. It wants food. It's trying to repair. It's trying to recover. It's trying to grow, right? And I go through these growing pains where I get very tired. So if I go train back real heavy, real hard, I get home, I'm fucking spent, but I'm tired for like 2 or 3 days while my body's trying to repair and heal and grow. I get tired. Like it almost wants to shut down, so I lay down and sleep and grow. So I know that when that happens, I need to feed my body. Like I know what's coming, I need to feed my body. So what I do is, I didn't just go from eating, keto jumping into 4,000 calories. I went from keto to slowly adding a little bit of carbs in, to slowly rotating the carbs, to slowly not rotating the carbs, to bringing up my protein, to bringing down my fats. Like everything was done systematically. As I was back in the gym, feeling my body and what it needed to do, I would adjust things like that. And now I'm back in the gym, my macros are starting to change. The hardest thing for me was being back in the gym and enthusiastic and not being able to push myself, having to hold myself back because you're gonna get injured. Like time and wisdom tells me that if I jump forward too fast right now, I'm gonna fuck myself up. So I need to pull myself back and slowly kind of integrate myself back into what I was doing before. So I started doing 3 or 4 sets, very light, 15, 20 reps, not pushing myself. The first week I was so sore, I was in so much pain. The next week I did the same thing. Third week, started to add a couple of sets here and there, but still light weights, not pushing myself, not pushing the muscle to get stronger, nothing like that. The muscle itself gets stronger just by training with weights again. 4th and 5th week, now I'm pushing a little bit more weight, doing more sets. And now the 6th week, what I've moved up to is I'm still training only 3 days a week, but I'm doing all these sets, like 3 to 4 sets of 10, 15, 20, whatever, that are not very intense. And then the final set, I move the weight up to where I hit maybe 8 to 10 to 12 reps. And it's difficult for me to do those 12 reps. that's pretty much the only working set I have right now. And the next move is to go to 4 days a week from 3 days a week so I can start getting back on a regular routine. But as I embarked on this, I knew I was going to be training again. I was fully aware that it's not just in the gym. Like, it's important that you realize that 24 hours a day outside of the gym is going to help you get to your physique goals. And if you're one of those people that are like, oh, this doesn't matter, that doesn't matter, you'll get the gains. But look, I just did it in 6 weeks again. 20 pounds in 6 weeks. This is not the first time I've done it. And of course, it is muscle memory. I want to make sure that people understand I'm not building new muscle 20 pounds in 6 weeks. But it's the little things that you do. So if you're nailing your macros, that's important. If you're training with weights, that's important. So how can you speed up the process even more to regain that muscle? With those two things already in place, do you just have to ride it out? No. First thing I do in the morning, I get up and I have 1 scoop of my EAA Plus. Immediately, first thing. So I'll have 6 to 8 ounces of water immediately, because I've been sleeping for 6 to 7 hours, roughly anywhere from 5 to 7 hours, depending on what day it is. And I haven't had any nutrients for that time. My body should have cleansed itself because it is technically a fast. First thing I want to do is get some nutrients back in my body, and if there is any catabolism, I want to switch that switch. I want to flip that switch back to anabolism. So maybe my body's catabolic in the morning, maybe it's not. I'd have to take a blood test to know whether or not truly, but putting amino acids in your body, if you are catabolic, is going to help. If you're not catabolic, putting the amino acids in your body is going to hurt. So boom, I started doing that. One of those. Then I do my Promazine pre-workout and my post-workout. That meal, I consider it a meal, not supplements, because they have macros in them. Those supplements actually have macros in them, and I count those towards my daily totals. But the before, during, and after of your workout, the peri-workout nutrition is the most important nutrition for building muscle in the entire day. Like, that's when your body's gonna need energy to push itself. That's when your body's gonna need to repair itself and replenish itself and recover before you can grow. The faster you can get your body to recover, the faster you grow. Now, I'm not talking about the anabolic window, but if you have your intra-post right after your workout, your body's now rehydrating, has amino acids, has glycogen replenishment in it, it has cortisol suppression in it, or cortisol control, I should say, in it. It has all the things you need to get your body moving faster in that direction. So I take my scoop of amino acids in the morning, and make sure that I take my Promazine and intra-post before and after my workout, and I make sure that I stay on things like T2G, stayed on it consistently through the entire quarantine. It's an adaptogen, it helps your body adapt. Well, if you stop taking it, which some people would stop taking it because, oh, I'm not training or whatever, now all the quarantine's up, you gotta take it. It takes 2 or 3 weeks before your body really starts to notice the results from taking a new supplement like that. Well, my body's already been on it. So when I start again, it's already in my body and working. So the T2G, the peri-workout nutrition, and the amino acids in the morning make a big difference towards putting that muscle back on. Like, you don't even understand that just by addressing those little things, it's like throwing gasoline on a fire. Like, it works faster. It makes it more intense. It makes your body recover and grow faster. So here you have a training program that's sound, a nutrition program that's sound, a supplementation program that's sound. That's it. Those 3 components, everything's 3. Bio has 3, diet, training, cardio. Those 3 things, right? Your cardio, your diet, and your training. Those 3 things are going to get you the best results the fastest way possible if they're adjusted the right way for you, your goals, and how your body recovers, your genetics. So that was it, guys. That was it. It was a plan that I had never had to execute anything like that before. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've done, muscle memory after coming back from a torn pec and stuff like that, but being forced into a 4-month, even when I tore my pec, I wasn't out for more than a day. I took a day off the next day, which was my scheduled day. I tore it Tuesday. Wednesday was my scheduled day off. I made a plan Wednesday night and executed it on Thursday. So I literally took no time off even from a torn pec. This is the first time I've been out of the gym for more than a week in 30 years. I had to go, listen, I have to rely right now on my expertise, on my wisdom, on the knowledge that I have from the last 30 years to execute this. And I've never done it before. And I was confident that I would get it done, and I did. And I'm like, you know what, this is great. And I do have some of these things that are filmed. I have the videos of myself shrinking up. I have the videos of myself bigger now. I'm like, this is really good to keep documenting this stuff, to actually show people, like, lead by example, not just by what you say, right? Back up your words. Like, that's what it's all about. So hopefully you guys are doing well. You're out of your quarantine. If you're heading towards your muscle building phase, this could be a tool, this video, to help you guys regain the muscle mass faster. I would say, the only thing I didn't put in this video would be to take it at your own pace, take it slowly so you don't get injured. Because if you get injured, you're going to be out for another 4 to 6 months with something that didn't have to be. So just take your time, ease back in it, listen to your body, and pretty soon you'll be back up to where you were before. I'm actually bigger now and heavier now than I was before the quarantine. I was 205 before the quarantine. I'm 208 now. So somehow, without training for 3 months and only being back for 6 weeks, I put on more size, and I actually feel it. Like my shirts and stuff are tighter than they were before the quarantine. And I'm like, how I had this little rebound of muscle is a really interesting thing, and it was really fun, and I'm glad that I did it. But regardless, guys, it's time back in the gym. Goals are back on. Hopefully you guys have been sticking to your stuff as best you can. It's been a hard, difficult time, but the bottom line is muscle memory is real. I knew it would be a lot of fun getting it back, and it has been. Now I'm just looking forward to, like, look, I don't know where my body's gonna go from here, but I got 6 more weeks before I'm at the 12 weeks that I was out. I'm 6 weeks back in now. My goal is at the end of 12 weeks to be better than I was before the quarantine started. Now, here I am, and I feel like I'm already better than I was before. Let's see where we can go. Let's see where we can push, guys. You guys have a great day. I'm Biostery, and I approve this message, and we're out.